think with the doctor. Yes, he's got it. He carries down. Way back the baby to Cleveland.
Until morning. Ewing.
Oh, wow.
He's going to try to get one more shot off the line. Push the buzzer.
How about that?
Steps over Teron Lewis. He thought about three. He'll put up a three.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Boom Broadcasting presents Three from Deep. I'm your host, Jayson Colenso. Welcome to the show. Before we get into those New York Knicks, guys, I'm super excited to talk about that. Also a little subdued, and I know you know some of the reasons why, but we'll get into that in a second. But if this is your first time here on Three from Deep, welcome. I'm Jayson Colenso, your host, All NBA Podcast. Guys, thank you for stopping by here. Thank you for coming to the Boom Broadcasting Network on the YouTube channel. You're going to love it here. So stop what you're doing. Hit that subscribe button. Join us. A lot of great content providers, not just basketball. We do football. We do baseball. We do hockey. We do TV shows. We do tons of wrestling. You will love it here. Please jump on here. And it doesn't cost you anything. Nowadays, taxes, tariffs, all the craziness going on in the world. Something that doesn't cost you anything is fantastic. So, guys, again, thank you for joining me here. A lot of great stuff to talk about, man. These NBA playoffs are getting super dramatic. We have a lot going on and a lot to unpack here. First things first, let's talk about we have somebody that already punched their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals, and that is those Indiana Pacers, man. The Indianapolis 500 is on fire. That team was no joke, beat that 60-win plus Cavaliers team. Now, I know the Cavaliers were hurting real bad. Donovan Mitchell with that left ankle, Darius Garland with the toe. I mean, they did not look in sync. They did not look like the team we saw in the regular season. Their offensive efficiency was horrible, especially this game. You can see and feel the sense of urgency in their faces. Donovan Mitchell, man, every time he got the ball, you can see him wincing. So you know he was in considerable pain. So shout out to D. Mitch, dude. You gave it everything you got, man. Tons of respect, man. Tons of love for you. He is a soldier. Phenomenal job trying to will your team to victory, man. It just wasn't there. He dropped 35 points, had 9 rebounds on a bum ankle, so gave it everything. But, man, 4 for 13 from 3. And Cleveland just had a terrible shooting night. You can tell their offense really wasn't clicking. The substitutions kind of weren't there. There was some interesting coaching calls. We'll get to that probably in the offseason here and talk about that. But, yeah, Cleveland Cavaliers, phenomenal season. Wire to wire, number one in the East. Over 60 wins. Multiple 15-win streaks in the season, which is unbelievable. Just falling short, getting bit by the injury bug. A lot of people are blaming this stuff on 82 games. Look, I know 82 games is a little bit long, but to me, I don't care if you play 72 games or 60 games. You could still get injured at any time. So it is what it is. There's a lot of guys out there that played 82 plus games that don't get injured. That's the way it is. This is sports. Whether it's football, basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever it is, sometimes you don't get injured. Sometimes the injury bug just gets you. You twist the wrong way, something just gives, and that's it. So it stinks for the Cavaliers and those Cavalier fans. It's a hard loss. Pacers 114-105. They were down, I think, like 20 points in that first half, but then just zoom. Those Indiana Pacers play at a different pace, which is amazing that they're the Pacers, and we talk about the pace of their play. It just kind of fits. And let's talk about Halliburton. Talk about a revenge tour. Voted the most overrated superstar in the league by his peers. What does he do? He turns around and beats Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. Granted, not the best team he's had, but still one of the best players in the world. You turn around and beat him. Then you face a 60 wins, number one Cavs team, and you turn around and beat them. Granted, a little injured, but still. Why do we play? We play to win the game. And Tyrese Halliburton drops 31, 6 rebounds, 8 assists in that game, and has something to prove. And has been proving it throughout both of these series and now going into the Eastern Conference Finals. Can Indianapolis make it all the way to the NBA Finals? The way this team is playing, as efficient as they're playing with shooting, they were 50% from the field in that game. 42%, 42.9% from three. So offensively efficient, good on rebounds, great in defense, a very long team, but man, again, their pace of play and how fast they get up and down the court, they are going to be a team that's going to be very, very difficult to beat. And I can see them making the NBA Finals. They have proven it. They've played against 2 good teams. Excuse me. So I'm very excited about the Eastern Conference Finals because Indy is in it. Great team. Great job getting past those Cavs. Again, Cavs, salute to trying to win. You tried to will yourself there, but man, the offense was just not there last night. 25.7% from three, 38.9% from the field. That's just not going to get it done against an efficient Indiana Pacers team. So Pacers on to the next. Cleveland. Sit, relax. On to next year. And we'll talk about you next year later on in the offseason here. But now let's get into what I'm super excited to talk about. My New York Knicks. Again, I'm a little subdued because, of course, the news coming out of Boston, Jayson Tatum confirmed surgery on the Achilles. Man, that's going to put him out next year. And then probably not back to the following year. That is a deep blow. And you could see how much it killed him in his face. And just you feel bad for him. Again, I've talked good about Jayson Tatum. I still think he is a superstar in this league. He's not talked about enough when you talk about some of the great players that are out there. I've said this over and over again, guys. If you haven't seen some of my earlier episodes, it's on demand. Go back and check them out. Check the tape. I have talked about him. Jayson Tatum does not get enough credit for what a great basketball player he is and what he means to that Boston team. I still think the Knicks would have won that game whether he got hurt or not, but that definitely deflated that Boston squad. Knicks were up at the time. They had the momentum. They just came off a steal, OG steal. That's where he got hurt, kind of reaching. Unfortunately, in the NBA here lately, we've watched the pop and flop Achilles all too well. I think we all become instant doctors the minute we see that happen on the court. All of a sudden, everybody gets a PhD and goes, that's an Achilles injury. Because you see it. We've seen it happen. We've seen it with Kobe. We've seen it with Kevin Durant. We've seen these before, these injuries. with the Achilles non-contact injuries. So it's unfortunate. It is. I want to beat Boston healthy. I want to come out of this series, of course. I want to win no matter what, because injuries happen to everybody. So that's part of the game. It is what it is. But I really wanted to beat them healthy, the defending champs, with Jayson Tatum in there. Now, we haven't won anything yet. Now, we won Monday night, 121-113. Tatum was having a phenomenal game, man. 42 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists before the pop. Brown with 20 points. White with 23 points. Porzingis only 7 points and Horford only 5 points. And that's what helped the Knicks come back in that game and control the game at the end as they held the rest of the squad. Let Tatum get his, hold the rest of the squad down. When you got Horford shooting, over 50% from 3, that's going to kill you. You held them down. Pritchard had 12 points, 6th man of the year. You held him down. They were 37% from 3, 18 for 48. They hit some late threes to get back in it, but the Knicks ended up pulling away. Brunson, MVP of the league. He's got to be up there. I know you got Joker. I know you got SGA, but a high number 3. Look what he has done for that New York Knicks squad. Yes, you got Karl-Anthony Towns. Yes, you got OG Anunoby. You got Josh Hart. Excuse me. But Jalen Brunson, Captain Clutch, the Brunson burner, is more important to that Knicks team than just about any other player for their squad. And that needs to be recognized. But Brunson, 39, 5 and 12. Karl-Anthony Towns and Bridges showing up, 23 points each. Karl-Anthony Towns, 11 rebounds, so a double-double. I think that's like 6 in a row. That's what we need from you. Karl-Anthony Towns, that's why we traded for you. Because you are a monster. You can score points and get rebounds. That's why I hate watching it when you chuck it up from 3. It's nice that you can shoot an open 3, but get down low, man. And OG Anunoby showing up in this game. He was absent in game 3, but game 4 shows up with 20 points, 4 for 8 from 3. It's a great job. But with about 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in that fourth quarter, the steal, the Jayson Tatum pop, and that just was deflating for the Boston Celtics. We haven't won yet. Game tonight is very important. You still have Jaylen Brown, who got paid a heck of a lot of money from Boston. He would be a number 1 on a lot of other teams. So I do not count him out. You still have Brown. You have Brown. You have Pritchard. You have White, Porzingis, Horford. So they still have a squad there in Boston. And now more than ever, they're really going to fight and rally around their comrade with Jayson Tatum being out. So they're not going to lie down. They're not the defending champs for nothing. New York better take this game seriously. They better realize that they're not going to be able to walk through this. They're going to need to play like they played in game 1 and 2 and 4. They're going to have to play defense. They just cannot go down. This whole going down 20 or going down 10 and then coming back has got to stop, because you're going to get burnt. You have to start strong, play defense, perimeter defense. Look what happens when Boston shoots under 40% from 3. You win. Get Boston to shoot themselves out of this series. You have the upper hand now. Their general is down, but that's also dangerous. So I think the Knicks can finish this game tonight. I do have them winning tonight. I think they have more Jalen Brunson, the Knicks, they can smell blood. They have won twice in Boston already. So it's not like they're going to somewhere where they haven't won. So already in this series, they've won 2 games there. The biggest thing is, can Boston claw their way back into this series? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to have it. If New York gets on a deep run and takes the crowd out of it, how much is that going to deflate them? That Jayson Tatum injury is just that cuts deep. That cuts deep. And I don't wish that on any player in the NBA or any sport. Was mad that this step he took time and time again. Just all of a sudden, the hard work, the dedication, the sacrifice, everything that he went through, one step ruined it all. So it's tough to deal with from an athlete's perspective. That's why you see the raw emotion from them. You see him in tears. These guys know pain. They can handle a lot of pain. But the emotional of when you feel something like that and you know something's wrong and you know you're done, everything just comes out of you. So I do not wish that on Jayson Tatum. He is an unbelievable basketball player. It stinks. He's probably going to miss all of next year trying to recover. I hope he recovers. I hope he comes back stronger than ever. But for now, New York, you need some focus. You have a clear path to the Eastern Conference Finals against one of your arch nemesis. We've already had kind of a 90s throwback playoffs already. We had that 90s throwback series against Boston. Talk about ghosts showing up against Indiana. Because if the Knicks win tonight and they go to the Eastern Conference Finals, that first game in Indiana, they're going to bring out Reggie Miller. They're going to bring out everybody. And they're going to start dogging Spike Lee. This is going to be and has potential to be a great series, but I'm looking at this next game tonight. I want us to get past it. As a Knicks fan, I am excited. We haven't had a deep run like this in a long time. I think Allen Houston, we're talking 15, 20 years ago, maybe, the last time we've had a deep run like this. So I am excited. Let's go Knicks. Stay focused, perimeter defense, and just win the game. Don't go down 20. Play basketball. Take Boston out. Send them home. Get to that next round. And let's focus on Indiana. That's going to be a heck of a series if it happens. Guys, we'll talk about that on Saturday. Because if the Knicks do not win this game tonight, I'm probably going to go bananas and I'll have a nice little rant about that because I'm sure something would have happened for the New York Knicks to not win this game tonight because for all intents and purposes, they should. We had another game 4 Monday night. T-Wolves playing those Warriors. The Warriors kept it close. I'll give them that. Again, you talk about your team MVP going down. We talk about Steph Curry being hurt. Excuse me. Looks like they're going to play tonight. It doesn't look like Steph's going to be back for tonight. So the Warriors 3 down, 3-1, backs against the wall. They lost 117-110. They kept it close. Julius Randle. Where was this Julius Randle when he was on the New York Knicks? 31-5. Having a a phenomenal playoffs for those Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards drops 30. We know Edwards is going to kind of get his, but Julius Randle has been playing lights out, has been that dude for Anthony Edwards. You would think Rudy Gobert, the Stifle Tower, you got a bunch of other cats on that team that you would think would have kind of been the next in line compared to Julius Randle, because Julius Randle does not have a history of kind of having these kind of games in the playoffs. He's normally hurt. So I am impressed. Shout out Julius Randle. Great job, man, for those T-Wolves. But, man, the Butler didn't do it. Jimmy Buckets, a.k.a. Playoff Jimmy, a.k.a. Himmy Butler. The reason you were brought to Golden State, had 9 shots from the field, 1 3-point attempt. That was weak. 14 points. 14 weak points. It's not even you had 14 tough points. You had 14 weak points. Jimmy Butler, that was probably the worst game I've ever seen you play in the playoffs. With the Miami Heat, 76ers, whoever, you go back to the Bulls. I don't think I've seen this weak of a performance from you. This was terrible. Shout out to Kuminga showing up, 30 in the last game, 23 in this game. So you do have some cats trying. But, man, you can see how important Stephen Curry is to that Golden State Warriors team. That whole offense looks atrocious. They don't have any energy. They look demoralized, and they look like they want to go home. I don't know how they got past the Rockets. I really had the Rockets in this. The only reason they got past them is because of Steph Curry. Now, when you talk about MVPs, MVP watch, yes, Joker, SGA, my man Jaylen Brown, but Steph Curry, look how important he is to that Golden State Warriors team. That team is a shell of itself when he is not there. So Steph Curry gets an MVP nod too, because without him, the Golden State Warriors are trash. Jimmy Butler, horrible performance. What are you going to do tonight? Are you going to make up for it and be the 30, 40 point, drag your team and put them on your back, Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy? Or are you going to be 14 points and take 9, 10 shots from the field? Weak sauce. I have the Wolves winning tonight. I just think the Warriors, without Steph Curry, are not going to make it. I think Anthony Edwards sees the promised land. He wants to get to the finals. He smells it. He feels it. He knows it's his time. He's got a good team around him. Julius Randle continues to play like he is. These T-Wolves are going to be a tough out. So tonight, I see the T-Wolves taking out the Warriors, put them out of their misery, and moving on to the Western Conference Finals. Got some great games going on, guys. Tons of drama in the NBA. Let me know who you got. We still got some series out there. Do you have the Knicks tonight? Do you have the Timberwolves tonight? Or do you see one of those other squads coming by and stealing a victory from them and stretching these series out? Do you see Indiana being able to make it all the way to the finals? Who's going to come out of that Joker SGA battle? I need to know. Let me know, man, what you guys are thinking. You're hearing what I'm thinking about. I want to hear from you. Don't be afraid to drop me a comment. I will reply. We'll talk about it. Now, the other thing I want to jump in here real quick is we had the NBA draft lottery on Monday night. The Cooper Flagg sweepstakes. And I kind of looked at it a little bit. I do watch college basketball. I see why Cooper Flagg is the number one guy. He was touted and just puffed excuse me, puffed up so much during the Olympics last year. He was like the NBA players were just going like, damn, this guy is amazing. So his stock after that Olympics just rose when he was practicing with the team, the Olympic team. They fell in love with Cooper Flagg. And then, a good year at Duke just kind of vaulted him. So I understand why he's number one, but I don't think he's LeBron James or that huge of a number one. And forgive me for thinking that, but I really don't care. It's my show. I can talk about it if I want to. Look, Cooper Flagg last year shot 48% from the field, 38.5% from three, averaged 7.5 rebounds, 4.2 assists. He averaged about 19 points a game. That's not bad, but is that like number one all world? People to get upset about, who got the number one pick, which we'll talk about here in a second. So my question to you guys out there is Cooper Flagg going to be a team changer? Comes on a team, is he going to be that kind of impact player? I really want to know if he's going to be an impact player. So I'm going to recreate, because there's a lot of conspiracy out there right now with the NBA lottery. Look, I understand. I'm a New York Knicks fan. The first NBA draft lottery, we just happened to get Patrick Ewing. LeBron James just happened to go to Cleveland because he's from Cleveland. I don't have any ping pong balls, so I was like going to recreate on how the Dallas Mavericks with the lowest chance of winning. I got everybody's name in here. How the Dallas Mavericks had the lowest chance of winning and how they happened to get that first pick in the draft. It's just, because there's no conspiracy going on. It just so happened that they're the lowest percentage in history to win the lotto. No conspiracy. But all honesty, I don't know. I'm not sold on the lottery. Look, I get it. It tries to prevent tanking. I don't think tanking does exist in sports. Look, let's call it what it is. There's certain players out there, NFL excuse me, NFL wise, there's going to be this year the tanking for Arch Manning. We'll see what he does. The NBA, if you tank, you get more balls you get more names in the thing. But when the NBA kind of has their own little help with that. But yes, the Dallas Mavericks, talk about an emotional roller coaster of a year. Your guy, Luka Doncic, halfway through the season, is traded to the Los Angeles Lakers and breaking the hearts of literally every Dallas fan in the country. Here we are in May on a Monday night with little ping pong balls, and then all of a sudden, you kind of get a consolation prize. I'm not saying it cures you from not having Luka. Look, that still hurts. I don't like the trade. I don't think Luka should have been traded. I think Dallas should have figured it out. I still think that's a stupid move. I still think that gets Nico Collins fired. But you guys got a consolation prize. So the Dallas WNBA team gets the first pick in the draft. They get Paige Beckers. here you go, Dallas. Now you have your female Luka coming in to ride and save the day and help your city recover from losing Luka. And now you win the Cooper Flagg sweepstakes. So, but my other question for you guys, and I posed this question to a lot of the Boom Broadcasting family, and I got some different answers. Should Dallas trade that number 1 pick? And the reason I say that is there's a player out there who is questioning if he should still stay with his team. And that player is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Is Cooper Flagg and his 40% field goal percentage, and he's got talent, a little raw, but is a rookie, young kid, number 1 draft pick. Is it worth trading him for one of the top 5 players in the world? Granted, Giannis is 30, so he's not a college kid, but 5 to 7 good years left him at least. Top 5 in the world. If you have an opportunity to go get Giannis Antetokounmpo, you pair him with AD, you do that, you have a shot at re-signing Kyrie. So Kyrie, Giannis, and AD in Dallas, to me, sounds pretty sexy compared to possibly Kyrie, Cooper Flagg, and AD. So I want to know what you guys think. I'm just throwing that out there. Is that, what do you think of that option? Taking that number 1 pick, Dallas, throwing, a little cuddle puddle together because you got to make the money work. That's the other thing in the NBA is you always got to make the money work. Taking that, trading it to Milwaukee. Milwaukee gets their rebuild. They can start shedding some payroll. You get Cooper Flagg. You maybe get a couple extra role players in there. You start your rebuilding process. Now you got a young kid. You can kind of grow and see what he does. Dallas, you get Giannis Antetokounmpo with a healthy AD and a healthy Kyrie Irving. That is Western Conference Finals. I'm sorry. Whether you agree or not, let me know. I want to know what you guys think. Does Dallas trade away that first pick and try to make their team better? Or do they ride with Cooper and see how he does? We'll see. Guys, a lot of great stories going on in the NBA. A lot of great playoff games. Off the drama. You feel sorry for Jayson Tatum. You got a lot of teams making their way to the finals here now. We already got 1 ticket punched. Will the Knicks punch theirs tonight? I hope so. Thank you guys for joining me today. This is Jayson Colenso from 3 from Deep. Like and subscribe. Check us out on Boom Broadcasting Network. And I will see you guys on Saturday. Peace.